Now I'm not sure if Nintendo has approved of this yet, but today I present to you Pokemon's newest roguelike, PokéRogue. I've never played a Pokemon game like this before. Let me explain. So the way this game works is you start off with a classic mode being available to you, and from there you're allowed to choose Pokemon to start your adventure with from any generation. However, there's something you must know about this. Each Pokemon has its own point-based system at which you can select it. For example, if you look down here, you're only allowed to have up to 10 points worth of Pokemon in your starting team for classic mode. The small value next to each of these Pokemon on the left indicates how much each Pokemon is worth on the point value system. When you first start playing this game, you're only allowed to select the starters from all 9 generations of Pokemon. And because each starter is worth 3 points, you're only allowed to select 3 of those. On top of that, PokéRogue has a ton of new mechanics which have never been implemented into the original Pokemon games before. One of these being the egg gacha system that allows for you to obtain different rarity eggs such as common, rare, epic, and legendary, and gives you the ability to spawn in all types of Pokemon with unique egg moves. In order to get these eggs, you must use vouchers which you can only obtain through defeating Pokemon, gym leaders, or Elite Four members. One amazing thing that I love about this game is that as long as you obtain a Pokemon once, you will always have it available to you as a starter for your classic or endless runs. Now, with this information being introduced to you, this is my attempt at beating PokéRogue's classic mode. Let's just say this was not easy at all. So to give you basic information, every time you defeat a Pokemon, you're allowed to choose one item from the bottom row to use for free, and you're also allowed to purchase multiple items from the top 2 rows. I don't want to bore you guys with meaningless battles, so I'm going to narrate around the important battles of my run. Upon entering Stage 8, I fought Ivy, which is our rival in this game for the first time. This fight went very smooth with Fuecoco only having to use Ember to wipe her entire team. At the end of every stage, which is every 10 levels, you're going to go against either a gym leader or a boss Pokemon. After defeating the 10th level, your entire team will get healed for free. One tip I can give you guys when doing classic mode is to be sure to be very conservative with your economy in the game, but don't be scared to buy potions in the earlier stages. Obviously, I didn't know this at first, and it caused me to lose my first run very early into the run. On to run number 2 we go. For my second run, I came in with a different team, Fuecoco, Trico, and Froakie. Let's just say this time I didn't make it as far as I would have wanted to. On stage 25, I ran into Ivy for a second time and she came at me full force. I was not expecting this at all, thus causing me to be very underleveled for this fight. I tried my best against her, but it ultimately led to a massive defeat. Yep, on to run number 3 we go. So here we are back in stage 8, rocking a new team of starters. Fuecoco again, Quaxly, and Sprigatito. I'm not sure if I said that right, I apologize in advance. I didn't play a lot of Generation 9, so I wanted to try to see how far they could take me. Ivy opens up with a Chimchar, leading me to believe we're going to be seeing an Infernape by the end of her team. Quaxly quickly disposes of it and also eliminates her Hoo-Hoo with just a water gun. 10 stages later and we find ourselves a 3rd experience all item. This is especially useful in the earlier stages of the game because for each of these your party Pokemon gain 20% extra experience per completed battle, thus we don't fall underleveled. On stage 25 we run back into Ivy, and this time I was ready to take her on unlike the previous attempt. Like before and like the rest of the run, she opens up with her Monferno, soon to be an Infernape, and Quaxo is here again to shut it down. This time I let her do her thing and just spammed Aqua Jets to make her entire team a lot easier to take out in the situation that Quaxo can't finish the job. Fortunately for us, I didn't think it was going to go the way it did, but Quaxo literally Aqua Jetted her entire team. 5 stages later and we run into Norman. I'm not sure if this was the first one, but I'm pretty sure at the same time that it was the first gym leader that we fought. Well, Norman opens up with a Chansey, which honestly terrified me due to soft boils and overall spam. Crocolore, aka Fuecoco, was having too much of a difficult time against the Chansey, so I decided to give one of the underdogs of the team a fighting chance. Get it? No? Well, okay, I tried. Anyway, Herdier comes out, and let me tell you, Herdier was definitely the MVP of this fight. One workup and one retaliate later, and Chansey literally goes out with just one hit. Then Spinda comes out, and guess what happens again? Herdier demolishes it, but this time it took 2 attacks, and he almost went down, having almost no HP left. Norman's final Pokemon's a Vigoroth, and Quaxo cleans up with just 2 Aqua Jets to secure the win for us. Fast forward, stage 50. We run across a boss Conkeldurr, and I decide to add it to the team in replacement of the random Arbok that we caught earlier. At this point in the run, we had made it twice as far as the previous one, and it got me questioning, will this finally be the run that I beat classic mode in? Stage 55. Ivy's back, and this time she was feeling ruthless. And I say this because of one Pokemon and one Pokemon only. She added a Gabite to her team. I am not looking forward to fighting a Garchomp late game at all. Anyway, in case you guys didn't already know, the reason why I picked Skeledirge or Fuecoco is because of the move Torch Song. Torch Song allows a special attack to go up by 1 every time it hits. So it's time to spam Torch Song on her entire team. Remember that Gabite? Yeah, one shot. The Noctowl? Bye. Infernape? Sayonara. Stage 59 now, and we catch ourselves a level 37 Magnezone simply because I knew I was going to need an electric type Pokemon, and Magnezone is just an absolute unit. However, due to its low level, we're going to need to train it quite a bit before being able to use it ourselves in battle. Right after that, we face Elisa at stage 60. And I knew I was going to be in trouble because I had 0 ground type Pokemon, and Skeledirge's Torch Song was not going to affect the Electro due to its ability Soundproof. For those that don't know, the ability Soundproof makes any sound-based move ineffective on Electro. Obviously, Torch Song is a song. Electro lands a discharge while paralyzing our Skeledirge and makes a switch out into our Stoutland. Luckily for us, Stoutland is able to finish the Electro with just 1 crunch. Next comes out her Emolga, and we use Play Rough to lower it. Of course, Elisa had other plans and decides to paralyze yet another of my Pokemon. However, Stoutland is a powerhouse and tanks 1 more Spark Attack while finishing off Emolga with another crunch. Galvantula comes out next, and I decide to bring out our Meowscarada, which I don't think we've seen yet in this video. I use Flower Trick in hopes of being able to one-shot the Galvantula due to a 100% critical hit and stab, but nope, and then trick the spider. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played Pokemon that much in the recent months, and I completely forgot that it wasn't very effective at all. Luckily for us, my entire team is filled with units at this point, and 1 Play Rough and Night Slash later, and the spider finally goes down. Her final Pokemon is a Zebstrika, and I decided to stay in with Meowscarada so that I could quickly end this battle. Flower Trick should do the trick. Nope. Okay then. U-turn. Yep, that did the trick. Elisa was now defeated, and we move on to the next. At this point in the run, we've now made it up to stage 90, and we run across Erica. Yeah, I'm not even the least scared of this gym leader. Let's just say that this was the easiest battle I've came across up until this moment in the entire run. All Skeledirge had to do was spam between Torch Song and Flamethrowers to easily one-shot her entire team. Well, bye Erica, thank you for making my run even easier. Appreciate ya. And just simply 5 stages later, we run into Ivy once again. This time her Infernape is terrestrialized, which means it's only affected by fire type weaknesses such as water, ground. However, apparently the AI in this game thought my Skeledirge was a threat for the Infernape, so she decided to swap out into her Miltank. I'm still trying to process this, but thinking she would stay in, I swapped onto my Quaquaval, and from the looks of it, he wanted all the smoke. 2 close combats and 2 Aqua Steps later, and both Electivire and Miltank drop. Afterwards, she brings out Goodra, which, where's the Garchomp? What? And honestly, I thought my Stoutland was going to be able to take this thing down with just 1 or maybe 2 Play Roughs. That wasn't the case. Meowscarada comes out and tries to finish the Goodra, but ultimately fails as she swaps back into her Infernape. And here I thought it was a perfect opportunity to bring Quaquaval back out. 1 Aqua Step and Torrent was all I needed for the Infernape to drop 2. From here, the battle was fairly easy. We know the Noctowl and Goodra are both one-shot, so once again, Quaquaval, Aqua Step spam to the rescue. We then get past stage 100 with ease, catch ourselves a Noivern for shits and giggles over in stage 104, and I find my first shiny. But this shiny looks different. Notice how the colors on this Toxapex are different than the regular shiny sprite. Well, that's because this game has another feature in it that we haven't spoken about, the luck system. For each Pokemon, there are 3 different variants of shinies that you can obtain: the yellow variant, blue variant, and red variant. Yellow variants provide you with 1 luck point, blue provides you with 2, and red provides you with 3. The more luck you run on your team, the higher chances of getting a rare item at the end of each battle. In this game, it is ideal to run a full team of shinies whenever possible. Anyway, it goes without saying that we definitely did not hesitate to catch this thing, and I made sure to use one of my 5 rogue balls on it to guarantee the catch. To make matters even better for us, the game decided to give us the TM Earthquake. Finally, we have a ground type move, which we instantly taught to our Conkeldurr. I then arrived to stage 120, and we find Misty waiting for us. At this point in the run, I was confident that I would make it to the very end with little to no worries, seeing as my team is leveling up at an extremely rapid pace, and I'm not encountering much difficulty with Pokemons nor trainers. Needless to say, I switch it to Meowscarada on my first turn, and Meowscarada single-handedly cleans out 4 of her 6 Pokemon. Inteleon lands 2 successful U-turns on my Meowscarada, leading me to bring out Magnezone, which cleans up the rest of the job and destroys the last 2 Pokemon. This charge cannot be underestimated by any means. After defeating a wild Ice-Q in stage 144, I get a fire-type's Terastallation shard and decide to put it on Skeledirge. Honestly, I'm not sure why I did this, I just thought it was cool. Right after that, we go against Ivy once more. But this time I notice that she's finally rocking a team of 6 Pokemon. I switch it to my Quaquaval and one-shot her Infernape. Yeah, I know you guys saw that, but let's replay it again. She has a shiny Rayquaza. Yeah, so quick disclaimer, at this point in the run, I lost all hope. You remember how I was just saying in stage 120 that this was going to be an easy run? Yeah, not anymore. Quaquaval goes down to 1 Hurricane. I throw Stoutland into the mix and start spamming Play Rough to eliminate her Goodra. After almost barely surviving, Stoutland gets rid of her Goodra. She then brings out Miltank and I decide to sack my Stoutland for a clean switch in. Out comes Conkeldurr with a nasty superpower on her Rayquaza. As soon as I saw the Rayquaza, I switched back into my Magnezone. Knowing that she's most likely going to switch, I decide to use Flash Cannon rather than Discharge, and surely enough, I predicted her move. I then switched into Skeledirge and tried to spam Torch Song to get that special attack boost in case she brings that Rayquaza right back out. Unfortunately, the Electivire left me one shot and 1 Hurricane takes out my Skeledirge. Back to Magnezone I go. I'm not gonna lie, I got really lucky in these next 3 sequences. Let's run it down. Dragon Pulse leaves my Magnezone with just 7 HP. Discharge lands and leaves the Rayquaza with 1 HP bar left. Thunder Wave on the Miltank. Discharge spam with double paralysis on the Miltank for a clean knockout. Then I sack my Magnezone and bring out Meowscarada. 1 Play Rough does the trick and down goes the big bad dragon. Her final Pokemon's her Noctowl, and with a combination of Play Rough and Flower Trick, I was able to take it down easily. And would you look at that? We managed to defeat her, and now we're hatching some rare eggs that we got from the previous runs. I enter stage 150 and face off against Sinnoh's Ice Gym leader, Candace. Once again, just like Misty, 1 Pokemon, aka Skeledirge, should be able to clean up most of her team. And luckily he does just that. Gets rid of not 1 or 2, but 3 Pokemon from her team. From there, I spam Close Combat to eliminate her Weavile, but she switched into a Abomasnow instead, which also got 1 shot. Then, continue spamming until my Quaquaval falls and finish the trick with Conkeldurr. It's times like these where I'm grateful for picking up that Conkeldurr back in stage 50. We enter stage 180 and once again, Misty's back. Did Misty not learn her lesson the last time? Like, come on, she's just gonna get absolutely rocked by my Meowscarada. We lose Conkeldurr along the way, but Meowscarada gets her revenge and clean sweeps through Misty's entire team this time. Nope, not 4 of her Pokemon, her entire team. If you made it this far, leave a comment saying Meowscarada is the GOAT. The cool thing about this game that I wish I knew before starting this run is that in stages 182 to 190, you face against the Elite Four. The Elite Four has a team full of hard hitters, and if your money isn't high enough, then you could find yourself in a pinch. In stage 182, we run across our first Elite Four member, Chantel, a Ghost-type trainer. I'm not gonna lie, I goofed by using my Quaquaval in the beginning of the fight, but guess who was there to save the day? Meowscarada. Again. Night Slash spam gets rid of 4 of her Pokemon, and then Stoutland finishes the rest of her team with just 2 crunch attacks. Elite Four member number 1 was down and out. Elite Four member number 2 is Marshall. Magnezone gets rid of Poliwrath with just 2 discharges. Quaquaval eliminates the throw with 2 acrobatics, and now I'm left out of options since both of my trump cards for this match are basically one shot. So I sack my Quaquaval to his Mienshao and bring out Skeledirge. Again, when all goes bad, you just gotta spam the Torch Song. So after Torch Song spam, I managed to take out the Mienshao and then the Sock, but here comes out the GOAT of his team, Conkeldurr. Time to bring out my very own GOAT, Conkeldurr, and finish the job with the one and only Earthquake spam. Moral of the story, don't threaten me with a good time. Elite Four member number 3 is here, and it's Grimsley. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I hated fighting this guy in the original games back in the day. So this time, after researching type advantages, I got my revenge for all the times he made my life miserable years ago. Conkeldurr was here and ready to shine once again. I kid you not, he destroyed his entire team through the use of Hammer Arm only. He didn't even stand a chance. Easiest Elite Four member I faced until now, and luckily for me, it went this way because if you look at the top right, you'll see I'm running extremely low on funds to heal for the final Elite Four member. Elite Four member number 4 was the one and only Caitlyn. Caitlyn opens up with a Jinx, and I decide it's time to bring back the original GOAT of the team, Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr one-shots her Jinx and brings out a new threat, Sigilyph. After a little back and forth with the Sigilyph, I decide to swap into my Magnezone and she brings out her Musharna. After swapping back into Conkeldurr, she goes back into her Sigilyph. You kind of get the point here. This is going to be really tedious, so I decided to try to knock out the Sigilyph as fast as I can with Skeledirge. Torch Song spams knocks out Sigilyph, Gothitelle, Musharna, and Chimecho, or Chimecho. I'm not sure how you say that. I can't believe Skeledirge actually managed to wake up and knock out the Chimecho though. And right when I thought this was the end for Skeledirge, he one-shots the Nucleus with one flamethrower. Just like that, all Elite Four members were defeated, and it was time to see who our champion was. So for this run, the champion I faced against was Iris. Oh man. This one terrified me because I didn't really have a way to respond to dragon types with my current team. So honestly, I had to replay this fight about 5 different times to beat it. I opened up with Magnezone and took out her Toxicroak with ease, but then came for her big bad Haxorus. In every attempt against the Haxorus, it would take out at least 2 of my Pokemon from the team, and the strategy that I found that works best was sacrificing my Quaquaval. Conkeldurr comes in and cleans up the Haxorus for me. Then she brings out her Yveltal. Oh yeah, you thought Rayquaza was a problem? Well, she has a Yveltal. I don't recall her having that on her team the last time I went against her. Let's just say if you thought Haxorus was bad, then you're not gonna expect this. Luckily, she switched out when my Skeledirge was taken out. My Magnezone managed to eliminate her Aggron with ease once again. 3 down, 3 to go. Druddigon comes out next, and honestly, with a combination of Flash Cannon and Superpower, I managed to take it down rather quickly. Once again, I had to sacrifice another Pokemon to get a clean switch in for the Yveltal. Stoutland lands a nasty Ice Fang for over half of Yveltal's HP, and from there, the rest was history. My final Pokemon, Meowscarada, comes out, and the knockoff is luckily enough to take out the Yveltal. Her final Pokemon was a Lapras, and what scared me about this Lapras was that it most likely knew an Ice-type move. Luckily for me, Meowscarada came clutch and finished the job with just 2 Flower Tricks. Needless to say, this was the most difficult battle up until this very moment in the run, and I haven't felt the need to reset with a single battle throughout the entire run, but somehow this battle was the turning point for me. Anyway, after that gruesome battle, we get thrown into the last 10 stages until completion. Here, you're going to fight against future and ancient Pokemon from the new generation. Believe it or not, these battles can be very difficult, yet very easy at the same time. I try to be sure to keep my team as healed up as possible in case I had to fight my rival once again at the end. Quick disclaimer, at this point in the run, I had never made it this far and was not aware of what awaited me at the end. My idea was that I would fight Ivy at stage 200 and the game would end if she was defeated. Well, boy was I wrong. Enter stage 195. Yup, Ivy's here once again. What is stage 200 then? This means I most likely had to fight that annoying Rayquaza again. I was definitely not looking forward to it, to say the least. Once again, another fight that I had to reset on multiple times just to be able to get the win. And honestly, if you see the way that this fight ends, I think I got lucky. Alright, let's get right into it though. After a couple of back and forth switches, I get her to switch it to Electivire versus my Conkeldurr and one-shot it with an Earthquake. Rayquaza comes out, and obviously if it isn't clear by now, I'm terrified of this thing. So after a couple of switches and useless attacks, I managed to get her to switch into her Infernape. Quaquaval comes out and cleans up the Infernape with 1 liquidation attack thanks to my Magnezone landing 1 discharge earlier on it. A small part of me wants to believe that Quaquaval was able to one-shot it either way. Then her Goodra appears. Now if you don't remember, this Goodra was already a menace beforehand. But this thing was even worse because it took forever for me to be able to paralyze it, but after 3 Thunder Waves, I managed to get the job done. I bring out Stoutland and spam a combination of Play Rough and Ice Fang to take it down after almost losing my Stoutland in exchange. Then she brings out Miltank. Notice up until this very moment, I've been doing my very best at trying to avoid this Rayquaza without losing anyone from my team. I switched to my Conkeldurr and used Superpower, but she switched back into a Rayquaza. Honestly, I'm not too mad about this because that Rayquaza is now at almost half HP. I switch it to my Magnezone and start spamming Discharge, but unfortunately, she takes out the Magnezone with ease. Skeledirge is next, and 2 Torch Songs later, and her Miltank is gone. In addition to that, my Skeledirge is now at +2 special attack. Hopefully, that's enough to almost take out the Rayquaza. Yeah, right. She brings out her Noctowl and puts me to sleep. After almost defeating my Skeledirge, I decide it's time to switch out to Conkeldurr and use 1 Superpower just to eliminate the Noctowl. And just like that, her entire team is gone except for Rayquaza. Keep in mind, almost nobody in my team is gone. Rayquaza has only half of its HP left. Let's see what I can do. Conkeldurr gets sacrificed. Meowscarada lands 2 Play Roughs, bringing the Rayquaza to half of its final HP bar. The entire team goes down, including the Meowscarada. And then the final battle is my super low Skeledirge versus her super low Rayquaza. I don't know how, but Skeledirge outspeeds the Rayquaza, and one Hyper Voice is enough to take it down. We did it. We beat Ivy. At what cost? We lost our entire team and probably had an even bigger threat now at stage 200. The next 4 stages were just as expected, more future and ancient Pokemon, but this time I only had a team of 3 and almost no money left to use to heal up the rest of my team. 863 Pokédollars left, almost no HP on my team left, and we enter stage 200. Eternus. This can't be that hard, can it? Up until this moment, I managed to get up to 5 Pokemon revived for this battle, but nothing I tried would work. I promise you, I probably reset over 30 times in hopes of being able to defeat this thing, and nothing, I mean nothing, worked. It got to the point where I gave up and decided the run was over. Oh, but you thought this was the end? Oh no, we're beating this run. Time for attempt number 4. This time around, I did some research now knowing what the entirety of the run would consist of and planned ahead for these fights. I'm not going to bore you with the entire run again just because the video could get absurdly long, and let's just say we made it to the final Eternus fight with our new team. And yes, Ivy was a threat once again, but whatever, we got it done. Enter stage 200 again. This time, my team consisted of Tinkaton, Skeledirge, Gardevoir, Feraligatr, Pinsir, and Lantern. So for some reason, when you use Tinkaton in the first stage of the Eternus battle, Eternus won't attack you, so I just knocked it out with a variety of moves and went on to the second stage of the fight. I reset here about 50 different times because I was looking for one and only one outcome, and I needed the RNG gods to save me here. And after almost quitting, I finally got it. I needed my Feraligatr with a +5 Dragon Dance boost, and somehow needed to freeze the Eternus with Ice Fang at some point early in the fight. Well, we finally got it, and after a multitude of Ice Fang and Crunch Spam, we defeated the most annoying boss in all of PokéRogue. So, what did we learn? Eternus is an absolute menace. Ivy is the most busted rival in any Pokemon game ever. She makes Red look like a chump. Like, really? A Mega Rayquaza that's shiny? Come on, bro. But all in all, this was a very fun game to experience, and this video took me forever to make and edit. So if you made it this far into the video, I would truly appreciate it if you could drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because I really think I'm going to commit more to making more Pokemon content in the future. This was fun, genuinely. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video and being a part of this journey with me. And just like I said, I'm going to be seeing you guys in the next Pokemon video. With that, Obscurity out.